Good evening, voters. First of all, thank you for backing our story, our stand, and raising your voice with us last night. Tonight, the Kathua rape case has become a national talking point. We've all started a little too late, yes. Nevertheless, we are here now talking about the story that India must know about and India must act about. But the fight isn't over yet. Not until justice is done. Not until the people who kidnapped, starved, drugged a little 8-year-old girl. Not until people who raped and strangulated a little child are sent behind bars for life. Make no mistake about that. Version 1. A juvenile kidnapped the girl, drugged her and locked her up. Days later, he decided to set her free. But then realized that if he does that, her family may hit back and he will be in trouble. So he took her to the jungle and he smashed her head with a stone. He killed her and he dumped her over there. It's a heinous and brutal crime. Version 2. A premeditated plan by a group of 5 to 6 haters who had issues with the community that the girl belonged to, and they wanted them to be chased away. They wanted to instill fear in that group of nomads. They raped her repeatedly. They bribed the cops to bring them on board, and then in ways you cannot even imagine, they killed her. Brutal crime. Version 3. An 8-year-old went missing in January in Kathua. She was found dead days later in a bad shape. Rest all is a shoddy probe. It is still a brutal crime. The point of this is, dear viewers, no matter which way you look at it, India, it will still only remain a brutal crime where justice has not been done.
She was kept alive and sedated repeatedly so that the brutes could take turns to rape her. They raped her for days, and when they were done with her, they killed her by strangling her with a shawl. And just to ensure that she died, they bludgeoned her to death and dumped her body in the jungle. The little girl who met a brutal end was only 8 years old. Mirror now has accessed images of the storeroom where the victim was allegedly kept in Kathua near Jammu. These will shatter your faith in humanity.
Right now I'm in Rasana village where 8-year-old rape and murder victim along with her family member stayed. Normally this house was abuzz with activity, and today you can see it wears a deserted look. All you are greeted by is locks hanging on doors. Nobody is here. There's a complete, in fact, silence.
The investigations into this 8-year-old gang rape and murder has now taken a communal twist. The charge sheet filed in the case claims that all this happened in a bid to punish the Muslim community and scare them away from the Rasna village in Kathua.
In jail for more than 1 year for doing custodial murder and custodial rape. He killed a person in his custody, he raped his sister. And such are the persons who are involved in this investigation team.
क्या डराने के किए कि ये लोग जहाँ से भाग जाएं यहाँ हमारे मुल्क में ना.
Even as political parties start pointing fingers, Mirror now asks, why are lawyers obstructing the due course of justice? Why use the Tiranga to defend rape accused? Are BJP leaders interfering with the rape investigation? Why is a communal angle being given to an 8-year-old's gang rape? Is the police shielding the rape accused? And is this proof that the state has failed to protect India's betis? Debate begins now.
Representing the BJP, I've got Vaibhav Aggarwal, who's joining us from our Noida studios. I've also got Neelam Khatara, social activist, who's joining us this evening. I'll also have Deepika Singh. She's the victim's lawyer, and we'll speak to her in detail. Earlier in the day, she alleged that she had been threatened by the Bar Association for taking up the girl's case. Raja Ejaz, early retired IGP crime, also will be with us from Srinagar. And Wahidur Rahman Parra, spokesperson of the PDP, was to be with us. We are hoping at some point he will manage to join us. He's been called away by his party leadership for some urgent work. But let me go across to Vaibhav Aggarwal first and ask him, since his party is in alliance with the PDP, whether he thinks the state government, the state has done a good job of handling this crime case that took place almost 4 months ago, Vaibhav.
Good evening, Tanvi. And though, yes, it's a pleasantry, but there's nothing good in the evening. There are so many cases that are coming up, and I'm appalled. And I don't know, sometimes I get stuck in my own mind as to how to respond to this. But unfortunately, there is a lot of politics on it, and we shall all face it. The idea is that, yes, the police of Jammu and Kashmir may have done a good job. However, the standards of such work are not decided by you and me. The standards of such work are decided by the people. And I feel that if there is a larger section of the people, of the area especially, are not satisfied with the way the charge sheet has been filed, or the contents of the charge sheet, and so on and so forth.
The charge sheet wasn't even filed when they decided to block the process of the charge sheet being filed.
No, they did not decide to block the process of charge sheet being filed. I think
I'm sure you've seen the visuals, Vaibhav Aggarwal. I'm sure you've heard what the visuals, what they also chanted inside the court complex.
Spirit.
I'm sure you've read the Kathua Bar Association statement as well, that brags about and feels proud about the fact they sent the police team back and stopped them from filing the challan in the court.
No, but that's I think that's a matter left best to the Bar Association. I am in no position to comment on that. It will be out of my jurisdiction. But what I can comment is that I condemn the act on your channel and on your program, and there is no way that the guilty can go unpunished on this one. And from where I come from, my process is that Jammu and Kashmir situation is a little complicated when it comes to harmony between communities there, and we're trying our level best to have that. Now, I'm of this opinion that if there is a majoritarian view that there should be a CBI investigation, and there is a majoritarian view that the government is also willing to extend that assistance to people, and if there is another
investigation, you do know there is a majoritarian view in our country that a BJP MLA from Unnao should be behind bars. Why do you disrespect that majoritarian view but support this
BJP
majoritarian
MLA is not
view?
even named in.
No, I'm talking about majoritarian views, because the BJP as a party only believes in that, the majoritarian perspective of this country, without looking at what the minorities want to talk about.
That. No, absolutely not. You see, you just said the word minorities.
Lal Singh Chaudhary and Chandar Prakash,
and you need to understand that I'm trying to avoid the polarization of the entire process.
Ganga, BJP leaders and ministers who went and backed these people who were protesting in favor of the accused in this case?
Okay, so there are two things on it: whether they backed these people or whether they were just participatory in there as public representatives.
Why else will they be there?
Now you also appreciate that,
why else will they be there?
They are before they are legislators, or while they are legislators for the Bharatiya Janata Party of the Jammu unit. I would also appreciate that if you can appreciate that they also have an individual opinion about matters.
They were not there as individuals. They were there as BJP leaders
on certain subjects that they represent the government or the parties.
Participating in a protest that was meant to be backing rape and murder accused people. I cannot believe that your party is even defending that to begin
BJP
with.
In such bad
if
light,
there are
Tanvi,
elected representatives,
Tanvi,
what right
Tanvi,
do they have to go out and protest? Why don't they go to the court of law? Why don't they go to the court of law? Do you know how this functions in a democracy? If you have an issue, you can always go to the court of law and file a petition for lawyers and ministers and elected representatives to block streets, to block highways, to carry off the Tiranga,
Sure.
to say Bharat Mata ki Jai in support of rape and murder accused has never happened in this
Sure.
country until now. And you are sitting here and defending that, Vaibhav Aggarwal.
There is, I think that's very surprising. You have such a good archive room, and I've seen it at both the studios here in Noida and in Mumbai. Why don't you have some archives shown up when there was national conference and much heinous crimes and much more complex issues were not raked up? When there was national conference and when there were in other states, when there were Bahujan Samaj Party, and they were
Mera now as a channel has only been in
who
existence for a year. I'm just going to keep it to that. But let me go across to Neelam Katara and ask her. Neelam Katara,
yeah, but
the way
your journalism
I see
has
it
been very
is
respectable.
that
Don't
this
you
issue
agree that
has
your journalism
become
has a
about which
responsibility?
religion do I belong to, and therefore what side should I take, instead of everybody uniting tonight to say we need justice because an 8-year-old is dead and she was brutalized before she was killed. Nobody is talking about that.
Absolutely.
Yes, I mean, this is the first time I realized that even little girls who've been raped and killed, they're little girls who've been raped and killed. They're not, I mean, why should you talk of a little child in terms of her religion? It is absurd. I mean, she doesn't even understand religion. She never even understood religion when she was removed off the face of this earth. So I don't think religion has anything to do here. And this whole thing about not allowing the police to file an FIR, I think that is sheer hooliganism. If they thought the police had not prepared
the FIR is already there, Neelam ji.
If they thought the police has not done a proper investigation, they could all... Yeah, I know, I'm talking about the charge sheet. Yeah, the charge sheet was not allowed to be filed, but this is no way. I mean, the police can file whatever charge sheet it files. If they found it inadequate, they could have appealed. The judge could have questioned if he saw some merit in what they had to say. These are lawyers. They're legal people. They know the process much better than I do. What is this absolute hooliganism of blocking the roads, going on the streets, and then you have your MLAs standing up there and siding with the accused? I think they've made a mockery of the entire process of democracy. They've made a mockery of the POCSO. And it's amazing how the party is still supporting them. I mean, does everything now have to take a communal color?
We are not supporting them, Neelam ji.
It has
why
become
would you?
sickening.
Why would we want to make it a party issue?
When
We're not
people
supporting
stand
them.
and do Bharat Mata ki Jai, no, well, then why don't you tell them to go home and let the police file the charge sheet and let the case go on? Why are they blocking the streets? Why aren't all these people who are blocking the streets inside the jail, or at least their leaders? I mean, people standing and shouting Bharat Mata ki Jai, people
But
like
it's their
these,
democratic
hooligans,
right to
Shocking.
protest on the street.
Shocking. So anti-national. I think all of them should be behind bars for misusing the motherland's name, for misusing the Tiranga in such a way, for not having any faith in the justice system, for not following the judicial system in this democracy.
They make one feel
It gets worse, Neelam Katara. And I want our viewers to hear this.
Ashamed of being a Hindu with antecedents from Kashmir.
Yes,
I mean, my ancestors came from Kashmir. I'm a Hindu, and these people like these, make me feel ashamed of being a Hindu. What do they mean by a Hindu Ekta Manch? Which Hindus? What Hindus are they talking about? This is not being Hindu. Anybody who resorts to violence is not a
We have no association with the Hindu Ekta Manch, and we have not endorsed any of their comments.
In the protecting
Why would the government
their
be in the
own
dock for
dignity.
it?
1 minute, Vaibhav Aggarwal, this is not a direct attack on you. This is a larger conversation we are having, so don't get offended by that. What is very, very shocking is that they want to come in and play that card instead of talking about the fact that an 8-year-old girl is dead. Nobody wants to address that issue. And this gets worse. Deepika Singh, she's a lawyer for the victim's family in this case, and she joins us tonight. Deepika Singh, can you take us through the timeline from when did you find out about this incident to when did you take up the case? where were you yesterday when these protests were happening, and what has happened since then?
Yeah, actually, I have something very important to say. It was like we only approached the poor parents of the girl. Something very brutal was coming. We came to know that an 8-year-old girl has been raped and murdered. Then I tried to develop contact with the parents of the girl. We approached them. We said, look, let us go to the High Court. Let us get the investigation monitored by the Honorable High Court. Then the parents came. They understood the matter. They were also aggrieved. They were thinking that the local police initially did not do the investigation properly. They said, yes, we also want that High Court should monitor the investigation. It was only after our going to the High Court, filing a writ petition before the Honorable High Court, the seriousness was reflected in the investigation being conducted by the crime branch. The periodical reports were filed by the crime branch. Honorable High Court monitored all the reports that the crime branch was filing. Only after that, directions were issued by the Honorable High Court, and crime branch was acting accordingly. Now, since the charge sheet has been produced, it is before the court of law. I am surprised. What are they demanding for? Are they demanding CBI inquiry? Where were they when we had not filed the writ petition? Where were they when we were in the court and they did not file a single application? Why did it not come to the court and say our fundamental right is being violated? Please please ensure that our fundamental right is protected. Honorable High Court is there to protect our fundamental right. Whatever they are doing right now is a melodrama only. They are misleading people, they are harassing people, they are being lawyers, they are harassing the litigants. They are answerable, they are there to protect the law.
What do you mean they are harassing the litigants?
They are not there to violate the law.
What do you mean they are harassing the litigants?
Yes, of course, they are lawyers. See, I want to explain it. I am a lawyer. If I will not appear, my client would get harassed.
Yeah.
Continuous strike. So Honorable Supreme Court says, rarest of the rare case, the lawyers can go on strike. But is this the rarest of the rare case? This is not. When the investigation is being conducted, brutal rape and murder, assaulted sexually for 7 days, this 8-year-old girl, now the lawyers who are there to suppose they're there to protect the law, have taken to roads, holding sticks in their hands and making people to ensure that Band is completely
Let me ask
observed.
Mr. Sahni.
This is something very unfortunate.
Mr. Sahni, who's sitting next to you from the same city of Jammu. Mr. Sahni, what is happening? Why is the Bar Association and all the lawyers of that region, why are they so worked up?
Firstly, I condemn the incident itself, that the girl raped and murdered. Nobody is defending accused herein. We are not the liars who are holding the brief for the accused persons. We are holding the 3 agendas at the moment. One, tribal was there, therefore the strike is not only for to defend the accused in one way or the other. Demanding CBI inquiry, how it favors the accused, I am failed to understand. I have 45 years practice at my command. I am failed to understand. Mr. Umar Abdullah, at his residence, one dead body was found. He demanded judicial inquiry. Mr. Bedi, justice, was appointed, and he was
I am not saying you don't have a right to demand CBI inquiry. Why do you feel there should be a CBI inquiry?
Yes.
And if you want a CBI inquiry, why don't you go to the court
Please
and
tell
ask
me,
for
why
it?
should not there be CBI inquiry?
Are you a lawyer?
How it favors,
are you
how
a lawyer?
It favors only to accused,
are you a
not
lawyer?
to the prosecution.
Are you
Every
a lawyer?
liar from Jammu.
Are you a lawyer?
Please. Yes.
Okay. So
Yes,
what
I am
is
a
the
lawyer,
procedure?
45 years
What
practice.
is the procedure for a common citizen who has objections with the way the probe has been conducted? What is the legal procedure to raise that issue? If I come
Legal
to you
procedure
today,
for raising the
Mr. Sahni, if I come to you today and I say
Yes.
that in the Unnao case,
Yes.
they have the investigation that they have done is a shoddy investigation, that the main accused has been left out, and I want a CBI inquiry, what will you do? Will you go to the Allahabad
Kindly
court,
see the
or will
stage
you tell me to go
kindly see the
outside,
stage
or will you tell me to go
demanding
outside
CBI
the
inquiry
court's
by anybody,
residence and do
by
dharna?
anybody.
Will you tell me to go and file a petition in the court as a lawyer, or will you tell me to get out on the streets and block the road? Will you tell me to file a petition in the court demanding a CBI probe, or will you tell me to go and say Bharat Mata ki Jai, use the Tiranga and block the highway? Tell me, Mr. Sahni, as a lawyer, what will your advice be to me?
It is not an offence to hold a Tiranga in the hand and go to the public. It is not an offence. Everybody has a right to take the Tiranga at his hand.
As a lawyer, what will you tell me?
Issue is
as a lawyer,
that the CBI inquiry should be held. Why CBI inquiry should not be held in this matter?
Why don't you go to the court? As a lawyer, do you not have faith in court? As a lawyer, do you not have faith in court? Mr. Sahni,
we are not defending accused.
Let me explain to you how these debates function.
Demand of everybody.
Mr. Sahni, I am glad you are part of this debate.
A or B, whosoever
I am glad you are part of this debate, but you will have to listen to me now. Let me make you. Okay. When you are ready to listen to me, I will come back to you. Let me make it clear to you how these debates function, sir. When I ask you a question, I want an answer to that specific question. If you have another point to make, you can make it after you answer my question. Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay. So my question to you is,
your question.
Why have you even till date not gone to the court with a petition demanding a CBI probe?
CBI probe doesn't mean that only one person can go to the court and only can hold it.
What does that mean?
Because Jammu Bar Association, kindly see, Jammu Bar Association has not only had the brief of A or B accused. We are holding the brief for 3 reasons. One, that यहाँ पे tribal areas के लिए one order was passed by the government for the bar association.
आपके जो दुख दर्द हैं सानी जी, आपके जितने भी दुख दर्द हैं, आपको पुलिस से जितनी भी प्रॉब्लम है, आपको महबूबा मुफ्ती से जो भी प्रॉब्लम है, आप कोर्ट में क्यों नहीं जाके पिटीशन लिखते? हमारे देश में लेफ्ट राइट सेंटर पिटीशन फाइल होते हैं, सुप्रीम कोर्ट तक चले जाते हैं लोग। आप कह रहे हैं कि लॉयर होते हुए आपने ये डिसाइड किया कि धरना करना, नारेबाजी करना, पुलिस को हैकलिंग करना ज्यादा अच्छा तरीका है, बजाय कि कोर्ट में जाके एक पिटीशन फाइल किया जाए। मजाक बना दिया आपने हमारे लीगल सिस्टम का।
Tanvi ji, I think that's not right.
PIL is not the only solution for everything.
Because protest is a democratic right of people of India.
Ought to be exercised. Every citizen has a right, democratic right to be exercised.
Nobody has the democratic right.
You can't stop anyone from democratically, non-violently protesting on the street for whatever reasons is best known to them. But that is a democratic right, and I don't think we should drop it in
every lie. Nobody is
Deepika.
accused here.
We are not defending the democratic right to block the highway.
That is what I am coming on. I am coming on the
yes, sir, coming to you next.
This automatically happens when you go. Nobody has blocked the highway.
No, can Deepika Singh please speak now? Can Deepika Singh please speak?
Yeah, I want to speak.
Yeah.
I want to speak. I have a very seasoned lawyer with me. There is Supreme Court judgment, ex-captain Mr. Harish Uppal. Then we have 2002 also Supreme Court judgment. It says lawyers cannot go on continuous strike, only in the rarest of the rare case. Please understand, when they suspend the work, the litigants, the clients suffer. Justice is not being delivered to them. Please understand, we are not the common people. We are the lawyers. We are holding the brief in our hands of our clients. We are answerable to them. We are
Dalit case judgment ruthlessly dealt with by the public. Ruthlessly dealt with the public.
Let me speak.
Forget about that.
Now I am saying lawyers have taken to roads holding sticks in their hand.
You can't take away the democratic rights of the people.
Forcibly making people to enforce that ban is observed. This is something unbecoming on the part of a lawyer. Lawyers are not common people. Lawyers are not common people, and it is held by the Honorable Supreme Court.
I can understand your pain because we from the same community where lawyers are acting out in this way.
He is saying forget about Supreme Court. Being a lawyer, we never every time we win.
Okay, let me go across to Raja Ejaz Ali.
This is something very unfortunate. Coming from a lawyer Supreme Court guidelines
Deepika,
are there.
please.
They are not
1 minute now, calm down.
by
You
anybody.
and Mr. Sani are in the same room, but avoid getting into a yelling match with each other, because otherwise the viewers won't be able to understand anything. Just take a deep breath. Let me go across to Mr. Raja Ejaz Ali. He's a retired IGP of crime, and ask him. So the charge sheet is out there for everybody to see. There was one investigation that was initially conducted. After that, crime branch was called in. There was another investigation that has been conducted. The two versions are extremely different. In this case, more than the original civilian accused, there are actually men in uniform, cops, who have also been charged and booked for colluding, for conspiring, and for taking bribes. Now, do you believe now, as things stand, a fair investigation has been done, or should we actually go ahead and have another CBI probe here?
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. And rather, that I was really waiting for this, my opportunity, very calm and quiet, listening to everybody of them. The last word, what you said, why the police, even if the police officers have failed in their initial investigation, some part of it, still we should have confidence into police. The very fact that even the police officers who were rather involved in fudging or faltering, they have not been spared in the things. There should be a credibility and certificate for the police that they cannot spare even the police wallas if they falter. Now, I would question, only request all my these learned friends. They are the people, learned people who guide us during the prosecution, during conduct of the cases everywhere. I, as ex-chief of this crime branch, ask them, what is that thing which makes them doubtful, or where they challenge or lose the credibility or this faith in the investigation of crime branch? You see, the moment government felt that the people had problem with the investigating team because they were involved, immediately a superior agency was called, asked to undertake the investigation. Whatever, because crime branch of the Jammu and Kashmir, I must tell you, is accepted in whole of the country as one of the best investigative agencies, and even the CBI officers, I have worked with them, they have accepted during all our professional competitions that the investigators of Jammu and Kashmir are the best ones available. So discrediting your own agency, your own that police which has established its credibility since last 30, 20, 25 tough years in the whole of the country is not proper, and I think my learned friends should have waited for the outcome of the inquiry. You see, the police, there were some friends who said that one of the investigating officer was also faced some allegations, are facing a trial. Well, he has been acquitted by the court. But you are not understanding, the team of the officers investigating team consists of one senior superintendent of police, assisted by a superintendent of police, two deputy superintendent of police, and three inspectors of police, and this one sub-inspector who is only to assist carrying of dockets, tearing of papers to the court, submission of papers to the court, and assisting the senior officers.
Sir, why you are
and
shirking
the
from
officers
CBI inquiry?
who had the established
Why you are shirking
credibility,
from CBI inquiry?
and I'm telling you, sir, had there been a problem with the lawyers, my learned friends, that they never wanted one of the investigating officers to be there assisting them, they could have simply moved an application to IGP crime to have him removed from that team. And then the professionalism with through which the investigation has been carried out the crime branch should be lauded and should be appreciated by one and everyone. Within the shortest possible period, they have collected the evidence. You see, the best thing where we were helped in this crime branch was the scene of crime, from where we have collected the vital evidence which was confirmed by DNA tests, which have connected the case with the accused, with the deceased.
Let me take your point, sir.
And the people and all those DNA tests,
Let me take your point and ask the other side.
Checking the credibility.
Why do you not have faith in the investigation that has been done? Mr. Sani, why do you not have faith?
Yes.
Please.
It is the accused, it is the victim, we should have contested it.
Number one, why we have not a faith in the police inquiry? Why it was being inquired by the police? Then it is shifted to crime branch. Why it was shifted to crime branch? Because the wrong persons were implicated firstly, they are left over, then they are taken up. Then the crime branch.
Yes.
Please, just a minute.
It is a specialist agency of investigation.
Then 164 statements are recorded of the witnesses. Once witnesses tells that they are tortured, they have made a statement before the judge. Why should we trust the crime branch? Why should we trust the crime branch? When the statement before the judge are made on
one minute,
yes, sir, 130
then it creates not only prima facie doubts, but a concocted story.
1 minute.
Why
you
don't realize
you
it?
say there
Why you
are
shirking
statements
from
that
CBI?
have been
All
made.
right, forget about CBI.
Listen, Mr.
Forget about
Sahni.
CBI
Okay.
inquiry.
I'm confused. Can you give me some clarity? Mr. Sahni, can you give me some clarity?
Let these accused be given.
Can you give me
any
some
sentence.
clarity?
We are not defending. We are not holding their brief.
Okay,
But
you are
for
not holding their
impartial
brief.
inquiry.
I am asking you this
For
question.
impartial inquiry.
It looks in all ways that you are holding their brief, but all right, you don't think so. I am going to ask
No,
you this. You
why
say
we are
some
arguing?
of
Because
these
we have put in a demand
accused,
of CBI
some of
inquiry.
these accused
Why-
have given
you
in
asked me a
written
question,
that
why
they
CBI
were
inquiry?
tortured, that they have
We-
given it in
we-
front of the court that
Please
they
tell
were
us-
tortured.
please tell
Why
us
do you
whether
think
CBI is a
that when
trustworthy
this
agency
charge
in the
sheet is
country or
filed,
not?
Neelam
If
Katara,
CBI is a
if this
trustworthy
charge sheet is
agency,
filed,
judicial
and when
inquiry
the
you
case
hold
comes
warrant,
up in
you are
front
not
of the
trusting.
court, if it is a shoddy investigation, if the accused have already given it in writing that they have been tortured and made to say these things, will this not come up in front of the court itself? And if it is all false, will that not come true?
Tanviji, there were 130 witnesses examined under section 164, and if one has stated so, 129 have not stated so that. There are 120 more these prosecution witnesses.
Kindly see.
There are dozens of them who will state the fact.
I'm going to go across to a caller and then come back and speak to Mr. Sahni again about this issue.
Inquiry. Otherwise, we would have trusted the police itself.
Mr. Sahni, why does Mehbooba Mufti's police want to put up fake names? Is going to be my next question. Think about it, and then I will come back to in just a bit. When you answer me, give me facts of the case, please. Ashok Kumar of New Delhi on the phone line. Good evening, Mr. Kumar. Go ahead, please. What do you want to say?
Good evening, Tanvir. Thank you very much. Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead, please.
Good evening, Tanvir. I've been watching your program regularly, and thanks for giving it opportunity. Actually, you know, my question is to Vaibhav Aggarwal. He was in the debate with Arnav Goswami in the Republic TV. And there, with regard to the case of the Unnao rape case. So my question to Vaibhav, there he was, you know, empathetically, he was precising, he was saying, you know, we should wait for the probe. We should wait that let the law take its own course in the case of Unnao rape case. But here, can't he give a directive to his MLA, Mr. Lal Chaudhary, which everybody know what kind of MLA is there. Their party cannot give directive. They should wait for the law to take its own course. Here they are demonstrating on the roads, blocking the roads, stopping the work of the court. And where in the case of the Uttar Pradesh, they are saying that, no.
We are not demonstrating that, Ashokji.
No, so Ashokji, the excuse that will come from the other side is that these two senior BJP leaders and ministers have gone there in their individual capacity, not as BJP people. But Vaibhav Aggarwal, would you want to add something to that?
No, absolutely, and yes, and Tanviji, I'm happy that Ashokji brought this up. Fortunately, that this is not Bharatiya Janata Party or the government that is actually protesting it. Point number one is that Bharatiya Janata Party doesn't function as National Conference in Jammu and Kashmir or Congress or anyone else. You know, we don't like to politicize sensitive, heinous issues. Now, we are very careful to draw a fine line between the political portfolio of the party and the government.
Why don't you
the
sack
government
these
is
two
the
people?
administrator.
If you don't like to communalize, if you don't like to politicize, why don't you sack these two people from your party?
I'm coming to that.
Are they not breaking the party line?
Sacking will come in only when the party decides to take a view on that. Now, your channel, Tanvi ji, and your program has raised this issue, and we are happy that someone is actually trying to talk of democracy. Now, when we talk of democracy, there is no other democratic political party and portfolio like the Modi party or the Bharatiya Janata Party. You know, so we appreciate this, and the party would like to take a view of that. And in case, as per the local submissions that we have, if need be, there is a view that the party leadership will take and act accordingly. Now, you and I cannot decide to pressurize the party leadership to take a view in our view, in our opinion.
Please, for you and your party to take a view, allow me to help.
Telling people and suggesting people.
Allow me to help you and your party take a view. This is what the charge sheet says. Like I said, there are 3 versions that I started off with. This is one of those versions. After committing the barbaric act of rape on minor victim, accused Deepak Khajuria, also called Deepu, kept the 8-year-old girl's neck on his left thigh and started applying pressure with his hands on her neck in order to kill her. As accused, Deepak Khajuria was unsuccessful in killing her. Another accused killed her
I don't
by
think
pressing.
I would want to hear this because this is too much.
Please do.
I
It
will
might
get
help you
emotional on it,
formulate your
Tanvi ji.
view on this whole issue. Please do. Another accused killed her by pressing his knees against her back.
There is no view now.
And strangulated the girl by applying force.
You're taking it to the next level. There is no party view on this. This is unfortunate that you're trying to put us in a tight spot just because we've not done anything.
So why? Tell me
this. The idea is that this is not political. This is administrative.
Do you feel? Does your party feel for this girl or not?
Because of the view of the charge sheet. The protest is happening. The protest is happening. The party has no locus on taking a stand on the charge sheet of the that is being filed. The protest and the discussion is happening on the MLAs or anyone else, the public representative, going and becoming a part of the rally that is there. You know, we have nothing to do with the charge sheet. The charge sheet is an act of the police. It is a matter of the investigation. Why would you and I need to take a view of that?
Okay, calm down. Again, I will ask you.
You and I have no locus standing and telling anyone to exercise their democratic right.
Of course not. Everybody has a right to protest in this country. That's all right.
You and I can't tell them. They can't dictate them.
Let me tell you what you should be protesting for.
You and I to dictate any citizen of India
Mr. Aggarwal, you don't need to yell.
To actually take a particular stand and a view.
Okay, let me tell you.
They have to do a democratic right.
Let me tell you what we should be protesting for.
In Modi Raj,
you and your party,
we don't do that.
And any other political party,
I take very
and
strong
any
opposition
lawyer worth his salt, and any activist and any politician and every single citizen of our country tonight should only be protesting for one single thing.
Of India's work.
Should only be protesting for one single thing, and that is justice for this girl.
The government has nothing to do with them.
The government has everything to do with them. You are in power in Jammu and Kashmir and at the center.
Justice. Why there is no CBI investigation? Hey, if there is a second investigation,
that is an odd thing for you to say.
Around it? Why there is politics around it?
That is an odd thing for you to say. Why is there no CBI investigation?
Wanted. We as a political party have not even asked for it. It is the majoritarian view. It is the people who want the CBI.
Why don't you give it to them?
It is not the political outfit.
Are you not in power in Jammu and Kashmir?
And judicial inquiries that Omar Abdullah wanted.
I'm going to ask Vaibhav Aggarwal one more time to just calm down a little.
When they were in bed with National Conference.
Let me go across to some of our other panelists.
Judicial inquiries, they wanted to influence judicial with Bahujan Samaj
Party. Have we lost track of what we have fighting for tonight?
Bharatiya Janata Party has not
Has Bharatiya Janata Party lost track of what? Okay, calm down now, Vaibhav Aggarwal, please. I have been polite enough now. Don't make me raise my voice, sir. Neelam Katara, have we as a collective nation lost track of what we should be fighting for tonight? A party and a party spokesperson here and everywhere else is sitting and defending the fact that people have right to go outside there and protest against an investigation in favor of the accused, rather than saying people have every single right in our country to go out and protest for the girl who has been killed, for the girl who has been raped, for the parents who've been chased out of that village, for the grandfather who wasn't allowed to bury his little child in the village where they have lived for the last few years. He had to go to a far-off village to do that. Nobody is protesting for her, Neelam Katara.
Absolutely. I mean, nobody is protesting for the girl. Nobody was protesting when the proper investigation was not being done. And now when a charge sheet has been filed, they want to come out and protest. Fine. I mean, if that is their democratic right, let them sit out there and do it. But if they want any kind of relief from the court, if they want another agency to come and investigate, then they will need to go, they will have to go through the court now, because one charge sheet has been filed. You can't get a second agency to come by going on the road. So I really don't know why they are trying this, and they will have to go to court and explain what their problem is with the charge sheet filed by the crime branch. And these people are lawyers. They know they don't stand a chance, and therefore they're coming out on the road and trying to influence everybody. And I don't think that is the right thing to do. And I mean, they have absolutely no concern for the family or for the girl that she should get justice. Though they are saying that it is for the girl also, but no, it is not. Otherwise, they would go through the proper channel through the court.
I didn't see a single placard there for the girl. I didn't. Mr. Sani, I didn't. I went through the visuals from yesterday and today. I heard every single slogan that was chanted there. Please listen to my question first. No. You will listen to my question first, sir. I'm very respectfully asking you a question here.
Please.
The question is this.
Please.
Why were the chants, the placards not about that 8-year-old girl? If you think it is a shoddy investigation, why weren't you chanting, demanding justice for that 8-year-old girl?
Kindly see, this agitation was started much earlier, not today after filing the challan. It was started much earlier, and when the Bar Association meeting was held, minutes are there that every liar condemned it, that incident, and spoke in favor of the girl for their family.
Why didn't you do it out on the streets?
The Bar Association as a whole.
Why didn't you do it on the streets? Why didn't you do it on the streets? Why didn't you say that in the court complex yesterday, where the sloganeering was religious, and when it was not religious, it was to say go back, go back, go back.
First case of my 45
60 साल पहले हम साइमन को go back बोल रहे थे, कल आप हमारे ही पुलिस वालों को go back बोल रहे थे. एक बार आपने नहीं कहा justice for that girl.
This is the first case. This is the first case, madam, where it is being told that victim doesn't want CBI inquiry. Victim doesn't want any independent inquiry.
She is still victim. Her family is still a victim. And you have to demand for justice for her.
Rather, accused is asking for CBI inquiry. Don't you look into this matter that any accused ever has asked for this CBI inquiry, independent inquiry,
whole inquiry. But आपने तो बोला आप accused को back कर ही नहीं रहे हैं. आप तो victim को back कर रहे हैं.
Bilkul, we are not backing. This is what I am telling you.
Then you are asking what the accused is asking for, which is CBI inquiry, but you are backing the victim by not taking the victim's name or demanding justice for her.
Don't you want that there should be independent
inquiry?
You
and your lies and your stand has been exposed to the country tonight.
In a haste manner.
Last night and tonight, I think it has become very clear to the country on which side of this fight you stand and for what motive.
You may put in any way.
Mr. Srinivas Rao is on the phone line. He is calling us.
The liar knows it in the hard haste manner the challan is presented. But remedies are available. We will seek to the remedies also.
You are a lawyer. You don't know what remedies are available. Who else is going to know? Do you think you are a good lawyer, sir?
Legal remedies are also available.
So why have you not resorted to those legal remedies? One of your colleagues was on my debate last night. Before the rest of the country woke up to this problem, I asked Ankur Sharma and he said, yes, we will go to the court. But today, instead of going to the court, you have all decided to go on a dharna.
PIL means public interest litigation, not public this for the publicity interest litigation.
You are in private interest litigation as things stand right now. Mr. Srinivas Rao calling us from Telangana. Good evening, Mr. Rao. Thank you for speaking with us. Go ahead, please.
When this demand came up, madam, as a whole, 4,000 liars of Jammu
ridiculous.
4,000 liars, and all are not.
Hello.
Mr. Sani, can you please hold on for a minute? Our viewers who matter more to us are on the phone line. Mr. Sani, it will be great if you also listen to what rest of India has to tell you. Yes, Mr. Srinivas Rao, go ahead, please. My apologies. Go ahead.
Can I respond? Madam,
Yes, go ahead.
it is completely ridiculous. The way how these representatives doing things. As a MLA, the person should protect the interests of the people. But the way how the things are taking place in India, almost all the people losing their faith on democracy. It is immediately that such people are to be taken into
Mr.
custody.
Rao, can you pause your TV in the background, please?
They should be immediately. They should be behind the bars. No person or no party should protect those idiots.
Yes.
So the way how this girl child is raped and killed, the way how they are doing, they are supposed to protect the country, protect the people, protect the rights of the people.
Yes. Thank you so much for calling Mr. Rao and sharing your views. I want to go across to Deepika also at this point of time, Deepika. I was given...
Tanviji, can I come over?
Yes, Mr. Ali. Okay,
Tanviji,
Mr. Ali, you go first and then I will go to Deepika. Go ahead, please.
See, see, ma'am, in continuation to the picture you have painted about the poor girl, the brutal, the murder it was done. What we were looking towards the people, learned people, was they will give the guidance, and when the initial investigation was done, nobody objected to that one because that was going another way. Rupees 5 lakhs were exchanged. But when exactly a remedial measure was taken, a good inquiry was conducted. So they agitated on this one. Why don't they see that they cannot sit on a judgment of the inquiry conducted by investigation conducted by a very elite this investigating agency? It is the honorable court which has to now sit on the judgment. If they find some lacunas, some deficiencies in the investigation, they will certainly ask for the improvement on that one, or it is their choice if they can refer it to any other agency for further better investigation. And especially when this is Mr. Sani himself said that this is the only case where the victim has not asked for another this change of the agency of investigation. It is the other party asked. This is always the privilege and the right of the victim, that if he loses, if the parents of that poor victim lose faith in the investigation of the this agency, they can ask for a better investigation or something. And if they are satisfied with the investigation having been carried out by the by a crime branch of the state, why should they be bothered about this one? If they have anything, they can go and contest in the court. And if they see that this investigation has been done, there is a faulty investigation, they are the people who can assist the court in asking for a better investigation and prove that the investigation carried out by this crime branch is not better and not up to the mark. They cannot pass a judgment against the investigation of such an elite agency of the state, which I am privileged, I am proud of having commanded such an agency of the country where we have the best investigators.
No, I doubt sometimes, Mr. Ali, I doubt sometimes whether there is enough evidence that they have to question the investigation. I would want the investigation to be challenged.
Yes,
I would want the investigation to be challenged in the
if
court.
They go through everything,
I would want every single person who's come out on the streets to give facts to the court and say the investigation was shoddy, was faulty, get in the CBI. But that's not happening. We are only seeing these theatrics, and one can only assume these theatrics are being done for the benefit of appeasing certain people in one or the other region.
And my submission to them is that let them see the conspiracy, why a conspiracy was hatched to do this one. Their every action, isn't it whatever they are doing, it is in furtherance of that thing, terrorizing the people in the area.
Yes.
And ask them to vacate the area if they see.
Yes.
So
Deepika, last question to you. Deepika, I am given to understand you've written, I'm sorry Mr. Ali, I'm interrupting you, but I'm running out of time. So Deepika, I'm given to understand you've written even to the top court. Why have you felt the need to reach out to people beyond Jammu right now?
I'm sorry, I'm not getting your point. Please come again.
I'm given to understand you've written to the Supreme Court and to the Chief Justice. Is that correct?
Yeah. I have written, I filed a complaint against Mr. Bhupinder Singh Salatia before the Honorable High Court at Jammu. I have filed a complaint against him before the Honorable Supreme Court at Delhi. I have said that I am not safe there in the High Court premises because I am not the bar member. I would remind all of them that they were the people in 2013. They expelled me from the bar membership. That time also I stood for a 12-year-old girl who died in mysterious circumstances at the residence of a lawyer. That time they said that she's an indisciplined lawyer and they expelled me. Now today when I'm not the bar member, they cannot restrain me from appearing.
Yes.
Mr. Bhupinder Singh Salatia the other day came and extended threats to me, said you will not appear.
I hope the government and the state...
I know the means.
I'm sorry, I'm out of time, so I will have to interrupt you there, but your point has been made. Threats and intimidation is not something that is new to this bar association. I hope the state and Mehbooba Mufti and the Centre and Prime Minister Modi take note of that and ensure that that one lawyer who's willing to fight for justice for that 8-year-old girl and her family is given security so that she can go about doing her job. A girl who was probably not aware of her religion or her roots or obviously not aware of politics of the world is dead. She took her horses for grazing one fine day like she did every day and she never returned. Her family has to run away from the village in fear. We tried to even get in touch with them. They have gone so far away that it was difficult to even bring them here to tell their side of the story because they live in fear. Rest doesn't matter. Hindu, Muslim, left, right propaganda doesn't matter. It is all irrelevant. Tonight, we hang our heads in shame, viewers, because as a nation, we have failed in giving justice to a family that has lost a pure, innocent 8-year-old girl child. Tonight, we hang our heads in shame because we sit here and we bicker. And we bicker about your view versus mine versus the majoritarian view and our democratic rights. While a family somewhere is grieving the loss of a child, they don't know who did it to her. Thank you for joining us tonight.